Attention! Attention! SCP Foundation staff, can you read us? This is Site-42. We are anomalously broadcasting to your encrypted YouTube accounts. I said your encrypted account, Steve. Do not use your civilian account again. Can you hear us? We are here. We are beaming to your YouTube. Are you ready? We are going live in 3, 2, 1. Hey there, Foundation staff. This is Sherman, Heatwave Sherman. It's way too hot in California today, but you can call me Sherm. Welcome to another anomalous broadcast from Site-42. For anyone unfamiliar with the show, here's the rundown. Number 1, I read you an SCP document. Usually, it's a tale or GOI or something like that. Something from the wiki. And B, I ask you guys to ask questions about it. I didn't turn my teleprompter on today, and this is why I'm floundering. I open the floor to the community to discuss what we have read, and we are also normally visited by authors from the site, usually the author of that night's story, which allows them to give some insight to what's going on. Remember that if you enjoy the show, leave a comment and a like. We're at 16 concurrent viewers and 6 likes right now. Share the stream, become a patron to support us, that sort of thing. Tonight, we are featuring SCP-5470, titled Y2K, written by author Etoisle. And thankfully, Etoisle is here with us this evening, and so let me bring them on. 3, 2, 1, video, audio. Hello, Etoisle.
Hi, what's up?
Doing great. How was your week?
Oh, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's getting cooler here, so that's been good. And I got this, to plug for a second, I got this cool t-shirt from Plastaboo. It has 173 on it, so.
That's adorable.
So that, yeah, it's really cute. Like, it's one of those subtle, you know, when you, like, want to, like, own something that shows that you're a huge nerd, but you don't want it to be, like, super obvious to anyone who doesn't know. I love stuff like that.
I am exactly the same way. I like a nice picture. I like something interesting, but you got to know what's going on to understand it.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the best kind of merch.
Sweet. Do you have any pre-show for SCP-5470 before we get into it?
This one is pretty personal to me, I think. It's kind of a combination of a lot of themes and aesthetics and stuff that's like important to me and things that I really love. So please be nice to me. But just, and I've gotten a lot of good feedback on it, so I hope that everybody likes it. It's very of its time, and it's been pretty resonant with a lot of people. So, and also I think you suggested that people be looking at the article along as you read it because it's very visual. It's very, very visual based. I made a theme for it. The theme has also been doing surprisingly well, so that made me happy.
Yes, if you are in the chat right now, if you're watching the stream, I highly suggest you pull up SCP-5470 in a new browser. There are numerous pictures. There is a lot of special formatting. And so you guys really want to be on board with that to get the full experience of tonight's article. Also, I forgot one thing I wanted to say to the chat because I've been monitoring. Somebody asked me where I got my Site-42 lab coat. And one thing I want just to advertise to the world right now is never buy a lab coat from a costume shop. They are always more expensive and lower quality than the real thing. A real lab coat from a uniform store only costs about 20 bucks. And then I got an SCP patch from Etsy for my birthday from my girlfriend, and that is, I just ironed that on. I actually burned the lab coat with the iron because I'm that bad at cosplay. But I think it gives it character. So yes, that answers that question. Have fun in the chat. We're going to start the read now. Be along with the pictures. And let's do it. Item number, SCP-5470. Level 2, 5470 classified. Object class, neutralized. Special containment procedures. Above the special containment procedures is our first 2 pictures. First one, SCP-5470 captured 10 minutes before its breakdown. Dialogue from an unknown native entity is visible. Click to enlarge. At second parse... Oh no, something's happening. At second parse, I realized that the years of running a multiverse of transforms has made me kludgy. While Junior may be lacking protocol, cry, glitch, and call quits if siphon's more efficient. It siphons more efficient.
That's something that we don't have context for yet, but it will make sense later.
It'll make sense later. And our second one, one for all, all for one. When we connect with each other by eschewing the flesh, only then will we know our true selves. And by knowing our true selves, we may begin our holy mission to recompile him with our collective will. Words of the Prophet.txt. What do those say? That's binary there, okay. The skulls are spitting binary, yes! If you're reading this, you're already humming to Juan's universal data torrent. If you aren't, get the fuck out, I didn't give you the password. You are now entering the World Wide Web paradise. Use the Ethernet augment I sent you to log in your mind. Visit Wanderer's Paradise, XOXOXO, X Xenia, written with Leetspeak. And this is a picture of...
Yeah. This website exists. I made this website.
You made this website?
I made this website. It's real and it exists. Thank you.
And so it's a redacted Geocities, I'm assuming, webpage.
Yep. And the actual link is, I'll probably just send it in the chat. It's Wanderlust, but in leakspeak.neocities.org, and the password for it is given in the description. It's also linked in the article itself, so it's not too hard to get to. And there's an Easter egg if anyone wants to go check that one out.
That's amazing. That's a lot of work to do. Good job. Already impressed.
Thanks.
All right, now we've got special containment procedures. Following the events of Incident 5470.2000. January 1st, I'm guessing, no containment procedures are necessary. Description. SCP-5470 was an alternate dimension, accessible via the web address geocities.com/blank/wanderlust. After navigating to the site, visitors are prompted to enter a password, determined via trivial means to be recompile us. Guys, you have the password to the website now.
I do.
The layout of the page, though crude, contains iconography relating to Group of Interest 004C, Church of Maxwellism, as well as references to the internet-based subcultures of occultism, freaking, and transhumanism. A loose term for this is for freaking. A loose term for hobbyists of experimentation with and exploration of telecommunication systems. That was a footnote. At the bottom of the page, a link labeled Visit Wanderer's Paradise is present. Clicking the link will download an unencrypted .zip archive named wanderer.zip to the user's hard drive. This archive is composed of 3 files: disclaimer.txt, prayer.txt, and eternal.tmp. The contents of each text file are presented below. Disclaimer TXT. Freeware for all, Wanderlust, Xenia. Disclaimer. Don't say again.
There's some assy art in there if you want to go look at it.
Oh yeah, there's some sick assy art going on. Here's the in case you're not on there, we got the up in here. Disclaimer, don't read this if you are a poser. Do not distribute to non-hummers. Once you enter Wanderer's Paradise, you will no longer be conscious in the physical world. You will become one with our Lord, and your imperfect flesh will fall comatose. If this sounds like it would suck, then don't run the file. Rolling on the floor laughing. Raffle. Please AOL instant message me if something bad happens. I love you guys, and I'll keep the paradise open for as long as I can. Juan Willing. Is it Juan or Wan? Would it be better for Juan Willing?
Either way, I mean, yeah.
I think it's Juan Willing.
Yeah,
I can feel his love for...
It's like one. WAN, like, I don't know. Either way.
We are all one. We are all one. Something like that.
Yeah.
I can feel his love for us too. We are all finally connected. So open the fucking file already. Hugs and kisses and circus. Xenia, Juan, the knife of Juan in the skull. Ah, the love. Sidebar, Etoisle, your grasp and make of early internet astounds me yet again.
Thank you. I mean, it's a lot more of a positive context this time. It's supposed to be kind of, annoying, endearing. I wanted to put it in a more positive light this time.
And now, we have prayer.txt, and because I have you on Discord right now, I can actually read what the prayer says. So do you mind reading the prayer?
Yeah, I can do it. Let's see. Guard this sanctuary for us, Juan. May me compile your will. May me realize our true selves in the eternal web. Please keep everyone safe. Please keep everyone connected. We love each other. We love you. Exit 0. And that's how you quit a program in C.
And so now that the texts are gone, we move on. Eternal TMP is an executable file, despite the TMP extension ordinarily designating temporary non-executable data files. Prior to incident 5470.2000.01.01, executing Eternal TMP would render the user immediately unconscious and unable to be woken by any means. Life signs continued while comatose, and dehydration and starvation failed to occur in the absence of sustenance. However, muscular atrophy was commonly observed. Individuals in this state reported their consciousness being transferred to SCP-5470. The system hosting the original files would become impossible to power off by any means, and displayed the screensaver of the user until they reawoke upon exiting SCP-5470. Users could not be removed from the dimension by any external means, necessitating a voluntary exit in order to return to consciousness in local reality. SCP-5470 resembled a crude 3D environment, and was largely abstract and artistic in composition, often featuring inconsistent topology and Maxwellist iconography. Communication could be conducted verbally or via text appearing in the field of vision of those nearby. The appearance of those within the dimension was similarly altered to appear as a generic low-polygon avatar upon entry. All users in SCP-5470 were granted minor reality warping capabilities within the dimension, possessing the ability to superficially alter the environment and their appearances at will. It is estimated that at the peak of its activity, approximately 200 humans inhabited SCP-5470. Analysis of visitor demographics to the host address has shown that the age of SCP-5470 inhabitants skewed young in comparison to the general population. We have a picture of... Oh no, I've made it big and now it's... There it is. 04-3-Silicon captured while loading into the SCP-5470 environment. Picture.
You can pull it up. I was worried about how many you'd be able to pull up.
Reports
all of the pictures in this are cool.
I normally make a slideshow, but I just didn't have time to figure it out because I was running late today.
Okay. There are a lot.
Reports of SCP-5470's existence have been found dating to as early as August 1997. At the time, exploration of the anomaly was deemed a low priority. Suppression of the public webpage, as well as the location and identification of person of interest 5470, codename Xenia in leet speak, was the primary focus of study. Investigations culminated in the successful location of person of interest 5470's base of operations in an amateur server farm run out of an abandoned office building in Wellfleet, Massachusetts, USA. Person of interest 5470 was absent from the scene, but recovered documents led to her identification as a 17-year-old American civilian named Kimberly... remind me? Van Vayek. Very little extant information could be gathered, and all servers present were destroyed in the raid. Addendum 5470.
I named her, and I think I took some of the locations as well. I named her after a fairly famous female hacker.
Neat, nice. I like little references like that.
Yeah.
Addendum 5470.1. On December 28, 1999, Site-15 was contacted via compromised secure channels by an individual identifying as codename Xenia, presumed to be a person of interest 5470. The message, encoded in base 64, presented a proposal for surrender and exchange of information. After consideration, the offer was accepted. Person of interest 5470 revealed her location, Altona, Illinois, and was brought to Site-15 for questioning. We've got an interview log. Interview log 5470, dated 1999, December 28th. Interviewed, person of interest 5470. Name, Kimberly Van Wyck. Interviewer, Dr. Amani Nyoda. Forward. Person of interest 5470 possesses a number of electronic body augmentations of unknown purpose. The interview was conducted in Electromagnetic Isolation Wing G4 to preempt use of these augmentations. Subject was unexpectedly docile during retrieval. Date: December 28th, 1999, 11:14. Is that 1100 hours, 14 minutes?
Probably.
Probably.
I don't know. It's fine.
All right, so you're taking Nyoda, right?
Yes. Yes.
All right. So we begin log. Take it away.
Please state your name for the record.
Kimberly Van Wyck, Vanvaeck, better known as Xenia, X3N14. Listen, I don't like doing this, but I need help with...
With Miss Van Wyck, we have some questions we'd like to ask you first.
No, listen, shut up. This is important. Can I just...
All right, please, calm down. Go ahead, we'll take down the information you have for us, and then we'll need you to cooperate with our questions after that, okay? And then we can decide how to move forward.
Anyways, like I said, this is important. I told myself I'd never work with PsyOps. I swore I wouldn't, but this is more important than that. You guys keep a list of all the stuff you think is weird, right?
Yes, our organization catalogs and contains anomalies.
Do you have one that's a website that sends you to an alternate dimension?
Several, but I assume you're referring to SCP-5470, Wanderer's Paradise, correct? And are we also correct in assuming that you're the creator of this anomaly?
Yes. Okay, listen, so...
Are you...
Shut up. Listen. I made it. Together with Juan, I made somewhere for my friends and I to connect with him and be together, and... Person of interest 5470 becomes choked up and shakes her head.
Take your time, Miss Van Wyck.
It was supposed to be our holy land. Safe and together and happy forever. But it keeps glitching lately, and my original sanctuary got raided, and all the code's with Juan now, so I can't fix it. And I couldn't figure out what was wrong at first, but I realized... Person of interest 5470 takes several heavy breaths, holding her head in her hands. I didn't account for the new millennium. So when I made it, I was so stupid, and I didn't think ahead, and I don't know what's going to happen. But I think the new year is going to destroy our paradise.
The Y2K bug?
The millennium crash. We all saw it coming. We knew it when it was going to happen. But I didn't think about it. I was so wrapped up in making somewhere for us to get away from it all. And now everything I work for is going to start choking on its own data and coughing out dead bits into the cosmic network. It's already starting to fall apart because some of us are in time differently. It's all my fault. I shouldn't have burdened Juan with my stupid human errors.
I understand you're upset, Miss Van Wyck. I'm sorry that happened. Why not reach out to your fellow Maxwellists? Why us?
I tried. I really did. But they just think we're a bunch of annoying script kiddies. They don't believe we're really even connected with Juan. Trust me, you guys are my last choice. But it's all I have.
All right, I see. What was it you needed our help with?
Yeah, it's not me you should feel sorry for. I wouldn't have gotten within 100 miles of a null device if it were just about me. My friends, they're still in there. I don't expect anyone else to understand, but we live there, Doctor. Some of them they've been there for years now, and I don't know if they'll have houses or families to go back to once it all shuts down. There is silence. Person of interest 5470 appears agitated, fidgeting anxiously. Most of them are younger than me. We're all in the paradise because we don't have anywhere else to go. That's why I made it. I don't know what's going to happen to them once they lose the connection. I programmed it so they wouldn't die, but I don't know if it'll hurt them or mess up their heads or anything. Jazz's parents were about to kick her out when she joined. Mitty just turned 14 and Zay's happier in the paradise than I've ever seen them. I don't know if Zay'd even be okay in the real world anymore. You guys can fix it, can't you? Keep it from falling apart? I've been on the run for a few years and I can't set anything up for too long, but if you gave me a chance and some of your equipment...
I'm sorry about that, Miss Van Beck. I really am. That's awful. But we can't allow you to interact with the anomaly directly. I'll confer with some people higher up and we'll see if we can get our own resources to look into a solution, okay?
A silence. Fine. Okay. Please, just hurry and don't make them go back. We only have a few days. I'll do whatever you say until you at least try and fix it.
We really do appreciate your cooperation, Miss Van Beek. Thank you.
End of log. Closing statement. Person of interest 5470 cooperated with her indefinite detention on the terms that she would be consulted in matters relating to SCP-5470. Okay, so just Sherman note, I have a bad feeling about this.
Yes. Good hunch.
Addendum 5470.2. Exploration log and incident 5470 2001. All right. In the limited time available, Site-15 instated Stationary Task Force Omicron 4, codename...
Specialized Task Force.
Say again?
Specialized Task Force.
Oh, Specialized, okay.
Yeah.
Specialized Task Force Omicron 4, codename Cyber Chase. A specialized task force of 3 operatives trained in the exploration of virtual reality environments made to simulate unstable, alternate dimensions. An expedition into SCP-5470 was planned on December 31st, 1999 at 1800 hours p.m.
It's fine.
Allowing the task force 6 hours to survey and document the dimension, as well as attempt to prevent the impending VK-class localized dimensional collapse scenario. Event logs were recorded on the experimental inter-reality storage device DREAM, acronym for Dimensional Recording and Experimental Adaptive Medium. And an emergency electroshock stimulation mechanism was put in place to remove the agents in the event of catastrophic failure. Exploration log. It's a good acronym. 5470, December 31st, 1999. What could possibly go wrong? Exploration team, Specialized Task Force Omicron 4, codename Cyber Chase. Subject, SCP-5470. Date, December 31st, 1999, 1800 hours. Begin log. Picture, view from 04-Omicron 4-1, Nematophy, upon manifestation. And yeah, say that one for me.
That's not a real word, so you can pronounce it however you want.
So it looks like nematode to me, so that's what I kind of went with.
So like the word's origins are shaky, but if you made it like an actual meaning, it would be something like the study of threads. So I've been saying it nematophy, but you can say it nematophy if you want.
I like nematophy. That makes sense. I see what you're getting at. All right. Checking connection to Dream. Ping. Pong. Uplink establish. Team check. How am I going to say these? Havana. Okay, so they've got names. Nematophy, yes. Havana, Silicon. Got it. Nice. All right, so Havana, copy. Silicon, transmitting. Nematophy. All online. To reiterate, Our goal is to document SCP-5470 until it breaks down and communicate with any entities residing in it. If you experience any pain or get stuck, there's a trigger on the back of your neck that will allow Dream to send a distress signal to command and get us out of here. Hopefully we won't need to use it. You should both be able to see a logout symbol in the upper left corner of your vision. Silicon, confirming. Are we ready to move? Nematophy. We are. Omicron 4, beginning exploration. Remember to verbally and visually document as much as you possibly can. All members of STF Omicron 4 are to exhale simultaneously. The significance of this is unknown. Silicon. Besides the geometry, this is a surprisingly nice place. There's something about the air. Fresh. Easy to breathe. Not very common for pocket realities like this. Nematophy. Watch your step. The ground's flickering a bit. We have an entry pavilion picture. STF Omicron 4 begins approaching a small, colorful central pavilion. Moderate texture errors can be observed. Havana speaks up. Can't tell if this is these kids' weird art or if the textures are starting to break. Nematophy responds. I'd wager it's a mix of the two. The pavilion is empty. Quiet music can be heard. To the left, there's a link to the exact song listed for your future referencing pleasure, or if you want a nice background to this. Omicron 4.1 motions. Say again?
I do recommend listening to that song because it's a good song. It's very easy to listen to.
Omicron 4-1 motions for their squad mates to follow. A hallway leads to a small room, the source of the music. The floor and walls of the area are covered in cassette tapes, as well as mediums with which to read and write onto them. A default native entity is seated in the center of the room, typing on a Commodore 64. The tag above their head reads, Mixmasters.
Mixmasters.
Nematophy speaks first. Hello, Mixmasters. We're here to help. Don't worry. Mixmasters' voice is estimated to belong to that of a young teenager, approximately 12 to 14 years of age. They do not turn to face Stationary Task Force Omicron 4 when speaking. What? Oh, it's fine. Knock yourself out. You're aware of the crash? Uh-huh. There's no point. It's fine. There's a silence. Mixmasters continues. I come here every night instead of sleeping. I've gotten a lot of practice. Gestures to all of this. I haven't made it work yet, though, so it's okay. I want to try and save everything before, but now. Mixmasters leans back, lying face up on a pile of cassettes. I pray almost every day with the blank tapes. Juan says data loss is natural. Even if it's almost 2 years of experiments in music and programs, I have to learn to be okay with it. It's a learning experience. Maybe I'll get it right back on Earth. There's a silence. They reach for a cassette labeled Memories V4 and clutch it to their chest. Please just leave me alone. Silicon speaks up. I'm sorry about that, Mixmasters. We're working to see if we can fix things here. Mixmasters doesn't respond. Omicron 4 exits the room the way they came. The pavilion has degraded slightly. Havana speaks up. Walls glitched through while we were gone. Nematophy. Looks like it's breaking down faster than we thought. Normally I wouldn't recommend it, but since we have limited time, let's see if we can take some shortcuts. Approximately 2.5 hours of uneventful traversal omitted. Recorded footage from Dream presented below. And we have a couple of pretty internet pictures. Oh, we got some text on this one. A vernacular of file formats. This one reads, I'm going to miss you. Will you miss me? Dialogue from a native entity is visible. This is getting like severe reboot vibes to me.
Yeah. So, and they all are marked with timestamps of the exact time they were recorded. So to give a sense.
And the timestamps will be important because we have 48 minutes in, an hour and 57 minutes in, and now 2.5 hours in. So they've been in there a bit. Nice. Good log. SCP-5470 is noted to be largely devoid of life during the expedition, despite signs of human activity. Omicron 4 enters the textual communication range of a native entity at 2000 hours 9 minutes 21 seconds. Havana speaks up. It's been getting emptier and emptier out here as we keep moving. This is the first coherent structure in a while. Silicon. I think we reached the edge of the world. Nematophy. I wouldn't be surprised if this is some sort of control center. It makes sense to keep it separate from living areas. Silicon. Either way, there's someone in there. The next picture has this dope screen with a person and all of these little code widget binary hexadecimal glyph describer.
So, yeah, if you guys are really, really interested, like super, super interested in this, Skip, this is a decryption key for images that appear later. And someone in the comments has totally deciphered all of them, which is absolutely insane. I can't believe someone did that. Like, don't you have something better to do with your life? But if that's something that interests you, you can decode all of those images that appear in this with this key.
I'm going to want to talk about that later.
Okay.
That's impressive. Both that you made that and that they thought to decrypt it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, this is so cool. I'm so excited. All right, so that was 2000 hours, 10 minutes, 54 seconds, and we have a view screen of the control room. And so now Omicron 4 enters the structure. It is divided by a large screen. On the screen is an array of cryptographic keys. Okay, should just read this. As well as a live feed displaying the face of a young female avatar. The feed is heavily distorted. Spoilers, I guess. Nematophy. Hush tone. Looks like she's trying to roll back the corruption.
The way that messages are read is a little odd. Like, I'll read off the footnote. Textual communication is indicated by the preceding number, which is a cumulative counter of messages sent rather than identification of the sender. So what I think you could do is read all of these things in monotype, like in the same tone of voice. That isn't there's no indicator of who's speaking other than context.
So message 78. I don't want to disconnect. Message 79. Please, please, please work. Message 81. Where are you? Message 82. Juan, if you're listening, please let Siphon connect to you. I just want to fix everything. Message 83. Crying emoji. Tear emoji. Nematophy, hushed tone. Move in, but carefully. Omicron 4 passed the screen and entered the room behind it. The female avatar in the feed is sitting in front of 4 terminals of varying sizes, each displaying an element projected on the screen. The room is otherwise empty. The tag above the avatar's head reads, Jazzy. Jazzy begins typing another message, then jumps as if startled and turns to face Omicron 4. Who are you? Go away, I'm busy. Nematophy speaks up. Sorry if we scared you, Jazzy. You're PsyOps, aren't you? Xenia told me she was going to talk to them, but I didn't think... Go away! Leave me alone. You've messed up enough. Silicon speaks up. We want to help fix things, I promise. Silence. Jazzy. Well, it's pointless. Everything's too corrupted to reach Juan anymore. So the time I spent getting up here and working on Siphon was all for nothing. Our Holy Land's going to collapse, and I don't have anywhere or anyone to go back to once it does. My mom's going to kick me out like she said she would, and I'm going to die in an alley somewhere. I hope you're happy. Leave me alone. Havana. I'm sorry that all we can do is be here. I don't want you to be here. She turns back to a terminal and rests a finger on the backspace button, holding it down. Havana speaks up. Don't you think your God would want you to be together with everyone right now, Jazzy? Don't you goddamn... You don't tell me anything about my God. You don't know anything. You... She curls up on the chair, presses her head into her knees, and sobs. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. Silicon, do you know where everyone else here is? We can take you back there safely. Yeah, just give me a minute. She sits up and speaks as she interfaces with the terminal. Siphon's a program I made. It was supposed to remove the corrupted parts and recycle them back into free memory so I could at least reach Juan, who's storing the code. we think. It wasn't going to work anyway. The system appears to be heavily corrupted. With some difficulty, Jazzy opens what appears to be a text editing program. She types /shout, where are you? There. Just need to wait for a shout back. Nematophy. For what it's worth, Jazzy, I wish we could have helped more. Whatever. Thanks. Message 86. Most of us are in the garden. It's some pretty sick glitching. Nematophy asks, the garden? Yeah, it's under that central room you should have seen when you came in. Usually there's a staircase, but I have no clue what shape it's in now. Havana, didn't see one when we came in. Shit. Don't worry, we have our ways around places like this. Nematophy says, ready to go? Just 1 second. She stands, then wraps the closest terminal in her arms as if embracing it. She then disconnects the keyboard and removes it from the terminal, tucking it under one arm. Okay. Havana, if you're worried about getting across safely, one of us can carry you if you want. As if. 2.5 hours of traversal omitted. Terrain has become notably unstable. Portions of the skybox flicker, and geometry appears heavily corrupted. And if you're checking the pictures at 2000 hours 37 minutes, 21 hours 28 minutes, and 2200 hours 2 minutes, especially 2200 hours, we start to see a lot more colors and a lot more degradation in the bottom sector.
Yeah.
Especially.
Yeah, there's some... The grid is the thing that keeps coming up, and those patterns are taken from JPEG encryption.
Omicron 4. Just quick. C-Jops, thank you for the $2 super chat. Very much appreciated. Omicron arrives at the entry pavilion at 2200 hours, 43 minutes, 25 seconds. Jazzy is clinging to Havana's back. As if, right. Pictured at the time of arrival is SCP-5470's entry pavilion. Note the severe geometric corruption.
Yeah, if you look at that and you look at the image of the pavilion from earlier, it's the same room, super, super, super screwed up.
Yeah, no, I'm super going back up to see it too, because I'm curious.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah.
It got exploded.
And I see where the newer meds, that text is repeated, but it's somewhere else now.
Where are the newer media?
Media, okay. Yeah, wow. All right. Nematophy speaks up. You feeling all right? I know stuff like this can make people dizzy. Jazzy climbs down and shakes herself. I'm fine. Hurry. Mixmasters emerges from a gap in the wall. They hold an unspooled tape cartridge, the film thrown over their shoulder. My room collapsed. It's happening? Jazzy, it's happening. I know you said you want to be alone for it, but I think we should be together. I think Juan would want that for us. Silence for a moment. Mixmaster responds. Okay, let's go. Jazzy, what happened to the staircase? It fell into itself. I don't know. Nematophy, let me try something. Nematophy approaches a cascading pattern of corruption on the floor. They survey it from several angles, and eventually, from the far right, kneel and reach an arm into the floor. Their arm extends into the floor. It, from this angle, is a three-dimensional space. It was compressed into the floor. Follow me and do what I do. We have a picture, full context unknown due to visual corruption.
I didn't notice until I was rereading this before the stream, that there is a human head clearly visible in the center of this, and it just looks so screwed up that it takes a long time to recognize it as a human head.
Yeah, no, that's freaky deaky.
Yeah, it's freaky.
There's so many medias about being trapped in computers and things like this, and I'm getting hits from all of them as we go, and so this is a trip for me.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
All right, they crawl inside. Jazzy and Mixmasters enter, followed by the remainder of Omicron 4. Message 91. Oh. No, never mind. 92. Message 92. Stop fucking around. What if we all die? Message 93. Xenia made sure we won't, smiley face. Message 94. Are you scared too? Jazzy. That sounds like MIDI. I hope Zay's okay. The staircase opens into a heavily corrupted, non-Euclidean space that possesses several artificial outdoor elements. The skybox flickers, then becomes black with scattered squares of color. All entities present are heard to inhale simultaneously. The significance of this is unknown. Silicon speaks. It's beautiful. Mixmasters. It is. And we have another picture of SCP-5470's garden. Havana is visible in the foreground, experiencing extensive model corruption. Oh, yeah, with the weird double face and the glitchy body.
Yep. So you can see more of those grid patterns appearing.
A group of various avatars are present, seated on a platform numbering approximately 15. A single avatar, taking the appearance of a floating, stylized animal, approaches. The tag above its head reads, MIDI. It is clutching several floppy drives as well as a notebook. Message 95. Hey. Mixmaster speaks up. Zay doesn't like talking. Jazzy places her hands on both sides of MIDI's head. Her avatar's hands are experiencing light geometric corruption. Are you okay? Are you going to be okay? Message 96. It all goes to the cosmic bit bucket eventually. 97. But all my friends here and my room and my art and everything I've made. Message 98. It's muffled sob. Message 99. All gone. Message 100. I'm scared. I don't want to talk to anyone else but you guys. Message 101. It's all I have. Jazzy speaks up. Oh God, MIDI. Jazzy embraces MIDI tightly. Zir model loses visual cohesion momentarily. Both are silent. You're gonna be okay. I won't let anything bad happen to you. Give me a smile. MIDI's avatar makes an indistinct facial expression, then experiences several geometric errors. Message 102. Can you come find me? Jazzy chokes a sob. I don't know, okay? You still have your family. They're worried about you. I remember. You can go to school and be a normal kid, and it'll all be okay. I don't know if I'll be able to find you, but you're going to be okay. Okay? Message 103. I'm scared. Message 104. I don't know how it works anymore. I don't want to be out there anymore. Jazzy. I know. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Slight silence. I'm sorry. Silence. Indistinct, discordant electronic tones can be distantly heard. Jazzy speaks up again. MIDI, do you remember the feeling of sunlight on your skin? Stuff like popcorn, running in the rain, getting to being a kid. You didn't get that. Not really. Her avatar appears to be crying. Message 105. Is any of that really worth losing all this? Message 106. If all my friends are gone. Message 107. Everything. Message 108. Is it worth it? Nematovi's avatar undergoes severe geometric corruption, momentarily obscuring the view of Dream. Jazzy speaks up. I don't know, okay? I'm sorry, but you can still have those things. You can still be a normal kid if you want. The rest of us, this is all we had. But you have more, Mitty. You're our hope, okay? Mixmasters, quietly. We love you. Jazzy, we do. We love you so much. All of us. Juan, the whole world. That's why we're here, remember? Xenia wanted everyone to be connected. Silence. Jazzy speaks up. Maybe someday we really will be. Message 109. Up Lincoln, Paradise. Message 110. Right? Jazzy. Yeah. Maybe this is heaven, and we're just getting booted for not meeting the entry requirements. Both of them laugh quietly. A large portion of the terrain flickers and disappears. All model textures become visually corrupted. Mixmaster speaks up. It's beautiful for the end of the world. Static. At 2300 hours, 47 minutes, 18 seconds, Dream experienced a verbal transmission failure, likely relating to the increased dimensional corruption. This coincides with a reported inability to transmit messages experienced at this time by Omicron 4. The following is the final images and communications logged by Dream. The source of the messages is unknown. We have a corrupted landscape. And I'm peeking at it to see if there's any other details I can see. Like people or something.
There's a few in the far background, but they're hard to make out.
Message 112.
So just kind of...
Message 112. Humming. Humming in the Holy Land. Children of the Divine Connection. Siphon, yet collapse. Picture from 2300 hours, 55 minutes. For a moment, I thought that was a QR code. But that's...
It's not, but...
But that's
remember
what
I said
translating
earlier
is.
about the... Yeah.
Nice. Message 113. That which is of this world is not necessarily of the flesh. All the world will recompile given time. Hum, like a cool breeze over the memory drive. Know those you have and link with them. Picture of corrupted landscape from 2300 hours, 53 minutes, 57 minutes, 53 seconds, with more translatable code. Message 114. We love you. Message from 2300 hours, picture from 2300 hours, 59 minutes, 9 seconds. Highly corrupted landscape, highly corrupted skybox, almost nothing visual, and more translatable. End log. Closing statement. All members of STF Omicron 4 awoke simultaneously at 0 hours, 0 minutes, 1 second. Fully aware, but disoriented and with low morale. Medical examination revealed no additional ill effects. Following Incident 5470-2000-11, executing Eternal TMP will result in a fatal stop error. The error code given is OX57414E, failure to recompile, despite the non-validity of this error code in the Windows infrastructure. Operating systems experiencing this error become irreparably corrupted, and formatting the hard drive is the only known method of recovery. Addendum 5470.3. On March 12, 2007, a routine person of interest surveillance check was performed on all identifiable former inhabitants of SCP-5470. All were found to be alive. Notably, several juvenile SCP-5470 inhabitants documented as lacking a stable home or family unit are now in the custody of an unknown third party? Where does this link go? Gamers Against Weed, are you kidding me?
Yep. It's all connected. So my kind of reasoning for that specific cross-link is, I don't know if you've read Project Kinoware, but that was a
I am
huge
unaware.
inspiration. You haven't read? Okay. So Project Kinoware specifically is kind of an elevation of the concept of Gamers Against Weed to something that can be taken seriously. It's a similar concept to this, where they're making somewhere where they can be safe away from society, but it is a physical location. It is an actual island that they are turning into a society. It's one of the longest works in the wiki, but it's totally worth reading.
Wow.
So, yeah. That was
Okay, that
awesome.
was a hell of a ride.
Yeah, I kind of teared up a few times. That was great.
Again, like, your talent for writing these emotionally heart-tugging things, like,
Thank
God
you.
dang it.
Thank
Like,
you.
this log, like, we got the lost kids and youngins, and they're not from a good place, and they found a good place, but they can't stay there, and they're gonna be separated, and but then they all do find a way back together.
Oh, I'm glad you like it. Yeah, I really like. I've discovered kind of lately that I think that's my niche is just writing, just emotionally resonant stuff. That's what I really enjoy doing. So I'm trying to write more of it, and this is kind of closer to the heart than some of my stuff before. And I'm very happy with how it turned out. I'm very, very, very happy with it.
All right, so tell me the genesis of this idea. Where did this story come from?
So fun story there. And I think I mentioned this in the comments. So I don't live in the state where I go to school. I live in kind of mid-Atlantic United States. I go to school in like closer up north, in New York specifically. And New York has a pretty strict quarantine policy in place right now. I was from one of the quarantine states. My school had a system where they would pretty much stick you in a hotel for 2 weeks while you waited out your quarantine period. And it was an interesting experience, mentally and physically. It was a nice hotel. I could not leave. I was not allowed to leave the room, not just the hotel, the room. It's. I compared it to like being in prison, but like the prison they sent CEOs to. And it was nice at first, but after a while, I was just getting really, really antsy, and I was kind of going nuts a little bit. I didn't have anyone to talk to. I was staring kind of longingly out the window, and I've always been a pretty solitary person. I like being alone. I like, lying down and not being productive. But by the end of it, I was ready to go outside. I was ready to talk to people. And that once I got out, once I left, I wrote the ending. So it kind of mirrors that.
Ay, caramba. Yeah. That,
Yeah.
you've mentioned the hotel a couple times, and I've just always been like, oh my God, ugh.
Yeah. I mean, even for someone who likes being alone, it was rough.
Yeah, no, I'm the worst demonstration of what extroversion does to a person. I took a day off from doing any YouTube and day jobs and TikTok and all this. I just like took one day off, and I was twitching the entire time. I was staying still, and it drove me nuts. I can't imagine 2 weeks of that. I would go insane.
I was also playing. There was like a TV in there, and I think I posted a couple TikToks from my time in there, and you were like, "Oh, yeah, that's because you were in one of my liked videos." But I was playing vaporwave and Graham Cardano, which I can't really put in the genre, the whole time, and I think that affected me somehow. I think that might have like given me a new disorder or something. That does. I'm a walking case study. I think.
So is this how the story came out in the beginning? Did it go through a lot of changes during the critique and writing process?
There were very few changes. This was pretty much fully formed. It all just kind of fell together pretty cleanly. And I think that's because the themes and concepts in this are very, well realized in my head, if that makes sense. Like everything in this is just something that is personal, so I'm able to write it pretty, get to the point. If that makes sense. I think I did a little bit of dialogue editing, and at first I had thought that the 2 hours of travel was a cop out, but someone was like, "Oh, this is perfect," so I kept it. So it fell into place pretty easily.
So which of these trapped in the computer properties, like, where did you find inspiration for like the world that you wanted to create here?
Literally every single one that someone is like, "Oh, this reminds me of this." I have not seen any of them. Not a single one. None of them. I'm not a big movie person. This is taken, as most things are, and I think I mentioned this in my 5403. It's taken from NeoCities first and foremost. GeoCities and NeoCities, because those are very bare bones website makers that people use to just kind of curate their own personal space, and they didn't care about getting likes, and they didn't care about appealing to other people. People would just put up pictures of their family and their cats and their dogs and like anime that they liked, and they didn't care whether anyone else like wanted to see it or knew what it was. They just made their own personal space, and it was all under construction, and it didn't have to look perfect. And that was where I drew a lot of my inspiration from. And the pictures in it are all from one very, very, very talented artist named Rosa Mankman. And I cannot thank her enough for releasing a lot of her stuff under CC 2.0. That is, I found her pictures, and I was like, I need to fucking write something about around this, and then it fell into place pretty quickly after that.
I'm looking for the. I'm going down the comments right now because I'm looking for the translation from the images.
Second page. Yeah, second page, second to last one. I think.
Last one on the second page. So.
Oh yeah, second page from Fallen Tree. And they DM'd me and asked me beforehand, like, can I kind of break this down, or do you want to keep it a secret? And since I didn't make the images, I was aware of the hidden messages in them, but I didn't put them in there specifically because the way that they're set up, it was an art exhibition, and the messages and the images were in some other images, but I just chose certain ones over others. And I was like, oh, the words in here are really cool, but I can't use all of them. And then I realized that they were encoded in some of them, so I tried to keep the ones that had the words encoded into them, so I could still kind of include them in spiritually. And the one line that I like the most that isn't technically in there are, "These are the records that document our handshakes." I just really, really like that line. That's the last. So that's the very last one.
Yeah, if you guys in the YouTube chat run to the comment section, the discussion page, page 2, Fallen Tree's comment has the list of translations for those cryptograms.
There's also,
wow. See, I take in just oodles of media. I am always watching a new show. A lot of people find a show like The Office or something that they rewatch again and again and again. And I can barely rewatch. I like a rewatch like as a critical thing. Like, I want to see everything that was foreshadowed that I missed the first time.
Yeah.
But it's always like a study. I don't like just put things on in the background because I have to focus on it if it's on. But there's so many tropes here that from so many different things I've seen. We're talking like, I heard Tron in the YouTube chat. We're talking about, I mentioned Reboot because I was getting big vibes from that old show. Code Lyoko is something that Katie is showing me right now, and that's got a lot of...
Yes, I did watch Code Lyoko as a kid. That is definitely an influence.
Nice.
That was my favorite show when I was like 7 or 8.
Da, 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 da. The song's catchy.
It is!
It gets stuck in my head sometimes.
It's good. It's a good one.
But yeah, there's so many of these things where like you go inside the computer and there's so many different ways to play it. And this is very unique. And I've never seen the like, this is our haven. And then of all things, Y2K coming and wrecking it.
Yeah. Well, I think you can probably tell from just my personal setting that I have a fascination with the late 1999, early 2000s period. And, Y2K is obviously something that happened then. And what was I going to say? I don't know. I just have a fascination with it. It's not as big of a problem as everyone thought it was going to be, but it was still a problem. But, there were people who thought the world was going to end. There were people who knew it would be fine. I played a game. Oh, this is a huge influence. I played Hypnospace Outlaw. That's a fantastic game by, I don't remember his name. Fantastic game. You should go play it. It's also based around Y2K, but Y2K itself does not happen in it. It's a virtual world that you can visit in your sleep. It's, sleep internet. And that is a huge, huge influence on it, especially the song Millennium Anthem. So that is a huge shout out to Hypnospace Outlaw for some of the inspiration from this. I think I linked that in my author post. And that's also the name of this comes from Millennium Anthem as well.
Nice.
But yeah, I wanted to, I know it's not very common to depict A, Maxwellism, and B, just the internet and virtual spaces as a concept. I know depicting those as positive is not super common, so that's the thing I set out to do. I definitely think I succeeded there. I just wanted to make something that's like people are in a computer world, but it's like not scary or messed up or anything. And I wanted to have that theme of, you know, it's okay to go out and talk to people in real life, but I didn't want to like, you know, computer bad, hammer it in. So I tried to handle that pretty delicately, and I'm happy with how it all came out.
Yeah, no, you knocked it out of the park, because what we get is it's see, now I'm trying to trope match again, but to something with like, because you get those like utopias that always turn out to be bad, like Pleasure Island and Pinocchio. It's we went to the utopia safe place, but it actually wasn't, and they're harvesting people, stuff like that. And so that easily could have been like, we're taking people to the internet, they think it's a heaven, but it's actually a bad place. This is the bad place. Love that show too. But no, it's wholesome as all get out, and it's very sad for people who need something like this to lose it. And so that emotion was played through really well. I caught the feels.
Yeah, I mean, I was tearing up a little bit. That was absolutely fantastic.
I think we got some tears in the chat too.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Sorry, not sorry. That's good art.
Well, you know, like, I'm sorry, but I'm also like glad. You know, it's that weird artist feeling of, yay, I affected someone.
Left your mark.
Yep.
Any final words to the audience before we sign off for the evening?
Thank you, man, for releasing your stuff under CC. And also, I think I've mentioned my friend Dave before. He finally has been starting to write for the wiki. So he wrote a tale, which is Class B, Orange 65. You should go read that. He also wrote an SCP, which is Heavy Fuel, SCP-5143. You should go read both of those because he's very cool and a good writer. And I want him to be doing well on the wiki because he's my friend and I like him. Please go read his stuff.
Go check out Dave's stuff.
Yes, please do that. And I think that's about it.
Sweet, I'll sign you off. I'll wrap up the stream. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And for you guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I think I saw somebody ask, this shirt that someone said nice shirts to, this is in the Site-42 Teespring store, so if you want to get Site-42 swag, that's where it is. The Site-42 TikTok's at 110,000 followers now. That happened like crazy, so I thank you guys, hopefully, for everyone coming over to YouTube from TikTok. I hope you're enjoying your stay. We will be back next week with another live stream. Until then, thank you guys so much for joining us for the show. We'll see you in the next video. This has been another Anomalous Broadcast from Site-42. Be safe, be well. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little